We fight for that inch.
Rarely do I see any American Italians eating in here.
But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Villkoret är att jag får leva.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Welcome to Real Genius. I'm Chris Vognar, culture critic for the Dallas Morning News.
And I'm Robert Wilonsky, digital managing editor for what else but the Dallas Morning News.
We work at the Dallas Morning News.
We do, and if you haven't figured that out by now, that it's on the Morning News website, that we work for the Morning News, then you're not allowed on the internet.
It's a great newspaper.
It's one of America's finest.
It is indeed. Speaking of America's finest, so great segue there. David Letterman is wrapping it up. Tonight.
Wednesday, if you're watching this Wednesday.
Yes.
If you're watching it later, it's already over. You missed it. Sorry.
And I know this busts you up pretty bad inside.
Look, I asked you to do this. Obviously, Tomorrowland opens this week. Me and Earl and the Dying Girl opens this week. Movies.
Which is very good, by the way. Check it out.
I believe you. But my month has been consumed by the end of the Late Show with David Letterman.
You watch it every night?
Yeah, Look, I never gave up on Letterman. This idea that, the last 10 years he's been mailing it in, I've never given up on Letterman. I don't watch it as religiously as I did, although I have for the last month. But look, he's been on the air 32 years, CBS and NBC. That is, a lot of my life. I had a vague memory of seeing the morning show. I was told the other day that it never actually aired in Dallas, which I find puzzling, because I swear to God I saw it in 1980.
You dreamed your own version.
Well, I wonder if, I guess I saw it at some point. I think it aired, I don't know when I saw it, but I do remember seeing it. In fact, we'll throw it to a clip from the morning show in a second. But the fact is the morning show kind of looked just like late night anyway, so maybe that's just where my memory of it comes from. But this shaped my entire life. This, to me, is where I learned comedy. I meant to bring in my 1986 Thomas Jefferson yearbook, in which there's a page devoted to Late Night with David Letterman. This is
Were you the editor of that?
I was the editor.
There you go.
I learned how to be funny, as much as I may or may not be funny, or I certainly learned what was funny from watching Letterman. And I learned later that Letterman was just Kovacs plus Carson, but no one else did that. And to me, this shaped what I found to be funny.
I'll state my loyalties, interests, lack thereof.
Yeah, you don't care about Letterman.
I care. I really respect him and admire him. I watched him in the 80s when I was in high school and a little bit in college. I have tuned in on and off since then when there's a guest that I'm really interested in. But yeah, I probably have not sat down to watch Letterman in about 20 years. And I will see the clips and I still enjoy them. I hate Leno. And so Letterman, to me, I like largely because he is not Leno. He is the anti Leno. I cringe at Leno. I'm sorry if you love Leno. He's just one of my kryptonites.
Right.
And so I do really appreciate Dave's irreverence, his urbanity, his irony, the way he plays with the form and always has. So I dig all that and I like it. I'm just not. I haven't been a sit down and watch the late night talk show guy for a long time now.
All right, so let's watch a little bit of one of the iconic moments from the late night show, the NBC show, that aired until 1994, 93, 94, 94. This is the Alka-Seltzer bit. It's one of the greatest bits, I think, in modern American television, but certainly we could have shown Monkey Cam, which I think is showing behind me. Could have shown Terry Garr, could have shown Crispin Glover.
Man Under the Stairs.
Could have shown Chris Elliott's Man Under the Stairs. Could have shown the James Brown performance in 1982 that is generally considered his last great moment. Last iconic moment. There are any thousands of moments from Letterman we could show, and some will be playing as we're talking, and we'll end with one of my favorite recents that didn't even air on the show, just a web extra. But here is David Letterman and his Alka-Seltzer suit.
Okay, I put it on and do what? Okay, it's breathing. Do release my feet or release your feet?
the hell? Release your feet. How much time? 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. Thank you very much. If this doesn't work out, Paul, I'd like you to take over. I love you, man. The mask isn't tight enough. Is that a problem? All right. No. Okay, let's go.
And then he never got sick again for the rest of his life.
Well, it's just a hard thing.
It's a great bit. I mean, you mentioned Ernie Kovacs, who is one of the pioneers of surrealist comedy on television, and that is most definitely in that tradition. And I get a kick out of that, and I love that early stuff. And I really loved it when I was younger, and I was needing that. I was needing that kind of irreverence to laugh at. I guess and like I said, I still respect him, but I kind of think I guess I've seen him as kind of fitting into the rest of the furniture of late night for many years now.
See, I think that does him a disservice. I think there has been, in everything that I've read the last couple of weeks and months leading up to his farewell, Letterman even said, gosh, for the last 10 years I should have been on television. I think that's just the same old self-denigration that David Letterman was very famous for, even when he was at his biggest and best. Because there were moments, there were some very funny moments, even if they were throwaway moments in the last 2 years, that I would put on par with anything that Carson did. And certainly Carson, toward the end, was just as old and boring, as stodgy as television could possibly get. But I think this idea that Letterman is leaving because he cannot compete with the YouTube Jimmy Fallons and Jimmy Kimmels and Conan O'Briens of the world kind of breaks my heart, because I do think there is a place for somebody like Letterman. When he leaves, classiness leaves television.
What do you think about Colbert as a replacement?
I don't know. I don't know what Colbert is going to be like as Stephen Colbert.
You know he's smart as hell.
Oh no, I think Colbert is going to bring whatever class television may have left, late night network television may have left. I think he's the last best hope for it. I'm certainly glad they chose him.
No pressure, Stephen.
Well, look, I think Jimmy Fallon, I think, is okay.
He's got great bits. He loves everybody too much.
Oh my God, that's the thing about Letterman. Bits.
Robert, can you tell me about what do you think about
Letterman? Letterman was no truck for idiocy.
No, and that was one of the great things about him. He did not suffer fools, and he would let them know that in front of everybody, which was always pretty fun.
Look, to me, Norm Macdonald's farewell the other night broke me up. I mean, Letterman reinvented, honed a genre that I had no interest in until I discovered David Letterman. To me, Carson was Carson. He was something that belonged to my parents, something that belonged to my grandparents.
Likewise.
Letterman belonged to me. Kimmel and Fallon belongs to my kid. My kid thinks Fallon is really funny.
Your kid's standing over there.
He is. He's right there. He loves Jimmy Fallon. I think he loves old Letterman, frankly. The Alka-Seltzer bit cracks him up. And he loves, Kimmel, I think, there's a weird thing I have about Kimmel. I can't quite decide if I like him.
I enjoy Kimmel. I mean, not to go off on just everything late night tangent. I think he does social media better than anybody else.
But Letterman, no one did interviews better. When it got time to be thoughtful, he did a great interview.
He did those great uncomfortable interviews.
Well, that's the thing he's known for.
Which was part of the theater, and it was pretty fantastic.
But if he had a politician on, he was as well informed as Jon Stewart. He was as classy as Carson. He was as snarky as Spy Magazine. He was all of it in one perfect gap-toothed package. And the fact that I won't be able to turn him on Thursday night makes me very sad.
So this finale has got to be we saw the Colbert finale.
We have no idea who's on it.
This has got to be that times 10.
Special guests galore.
Think. So I will, in fact, sit down to watch that.
I think everyone will watch it.
Yeah, I don't watch him a lot, like I said, but I know this is a big deal, and I know it's an event, and I will be there to see it happen.
Look,
not there, obviously.
The fact that
on the couch.
Tom Waits gave one of the most extraordinary performances, doing a brand new song the other night about watch about this kind of moment. Norm Macdonald's farewell, Eddie Vedder's version of Better Man. It's just a lot of stuff. I got to be honest, it's making me surprisingly sad.
A little verklempt.
I'm a little bummed out by the fact that this guy who's such a part of my life, I didn't go to sleep in high school or in college until I had seen Late Night with David Letterman. So the idea that I won't have it anymore kills me.
What would you like to leave us with?
All right, so this was on the other night. It didn't air. Dawes was on a couple of weeks ago. Dawes will be here at the AT&T Performing Arts Center. So there you go. But Dawes performed a web extra at Letterman's request, and it is one of my favorite songs by one of my favorite musicians and someone I was actually sort of friendly with, but not nearly the way that David Letterman was, and that would be Warren Zevon, who died a few years ago, very suddenly, and sort of. Warren did not take very good care of himself, did not go to the doctor, and sort of hoped his dentist would treat him. But Warren wrote some of the greatest songs of the 1970s and 1980s, including the one that Letterman asked Dawes to perform. Warren Zevon was on an entire episode of The Late Show before he died, and this is when he famously told Letterman if he could go back and do it all over again, he would just know to enjoy every sandwich. So I think that's remarkably good advice, made even better by the fact that Dawes will be seen here performing Warren Zevon's Desperados Under the Eaves. So enjoy the end of Letterman, enjoy the end of Real Genius, and we will see you next week with something that doesn't make me as emotionally
Not the end of Real Genius.
Broken.
Like, period. I mean, we'll be back.
Yeah.
We're not going, sadly, we're
as far
not.
as we know.
Unfortunately for
It's
you.
just the web, who cares?
We are not going off the air.
So enjoy Dawes doing Warren Zevon's Desperados Under the Eaves, and we'll see you next week.
I was sitting in the Hollywood Hawaiian Hotel. I was staring at my empty coffee cup. I was thinking that the gypsy wasn't lying. All the salty margaritas in Los Angeles, I'm gonna drink them up. And if California slides into the ocean, like the mystics and statistics say it will, I predict this motel will be standing until I pay my bill. Don't the sun look angry through the trees? Don't the trees look like crucified thieves? Don't you feel like desperados under the eaves? Heaven help the ones who leave. I'm still waking up in the mornings with shaking hands, and I'm trying to find a girl who understands me, but except in dreams you're never really free. Don't the sun look angry at me? I was sitting in the Hollywood Hawaiian Hotel. I was listening to the air conditioner hum.